Hello, everyone, and welcome to what we all are hoping will be the very last virtual open house we'll ever have to attend. My name is Jessie Holder, and I'm one of the Integrated Math 3 teachers here at Warren High. I am the newest member of the Integrated Math 3 PLC, and as such, I have been chosen to present to you tonight. I have yet to do this in under 10 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep this brief. I'm going to try to go over as many of the topics as I can, but if you have questions at the end of this, please just reach out to one of us. We would be happy to answer any question you have for us. All right, let's start off by meeting the teachers. We have Ms. Sangalang Ortiz. She is our department chair. Mrs. Wheeler, Mrs. Martin, Mrs. Holder, that's me right there. Mr. Lopez is my co-teacher, Mr. Lacola, Mr. Robinson, and Mr. Trejo. All of these teachers teach other math courses as well, like Integrated Math 1 and 2, as well as a lot of the senior courses that we offer here. It's very helpful when we're trying to plan for what Integrated Math 3 students should be learning, to know what Integrated Math 1 and 2 students have already learned and what they need to know to prepare them for their senior level courses as well. One of the big changes we made in the second semester was streamlining the Canvas homepage. So when your students open up to our classroom on Canvas, they should see 4 things. They should see their class Zoom link, the office hours link, a week at a glance, and any assignments and their due dates. There may be additional information, but for sure those 4 things can all be found on the homepage. Some of the content that's going to be covered in the second semester is listed in front of you. We've already addressed modules 9 and 8. We just took a common assessment for those modules. And leading up to spring break, we'll be covering module 10, 11, and 13. And when we come back from that, we will all be covering logarithmic functions. The pacing guide is just a generality onto how fast we should be going. It keeps all of us accountable. It makes sure that if a student had to transfer from one integrated class to another, that they will not be too far ahead or too far behind. Every week we meet to go over this pacing guide, see how we're doing in each of the classes, and make adjustments when we need to. So this is a really fluid schedule that we've had to adjust many times, especially this year. Asynchronous. That is one of the words I hope not to have to use too much after this year. When we're talking about asynchronous work, we are referring to their homework. What are they doing when they're not on Zoom with their classmates and myself? We have used Delta Math, KudoWorks, our online textbook, and a bunch of other resources in order to deliver homework and assignments to your students. And so your students are very familiar with these platforms. When you get your hands on a copy of this slideshow, all of these links are live, and so you can click on them and explore those websites a little further. Synchronous work refers to how we're delivering instruction, how we're conducting assessments when we're face-to-face and on Zoom with our students. Almost all of the teachers in Integrated Math 3 are using Zoom lectures to deliver content. So it's most mimics what we would normally be doing in a classroom setting anyways. We would be working out a problem on a whiteboard or on a dot camera, and students would be following along and taking notes as we model how to solve these problems. As far as assessments go, that refers to a lot more than just tests and quizzes. It's how we check in informally to see their level of understanding as we're delivering a lesson. So these are just some of the ways that we are able to check for understanding as we're teaching and at the end of a module. I've included some work samples just so you can see how we are able to take a topic that, like math, where it is, pencil and paper, and we're able to incorporate that with some digital platforms so that students can do their work at home and we can see it here on campus or at home, wherever we are. So if you scroll through, you might be able to see some of your own students' amazing work. One of the questions we were anticipating tonight was, what can I do to help my student be successful? After talking with the PLC and all the teachers, we really looked at those students in our classroom that really are successful and are doing a great job. And we've noticed 3 key components. They are always attending class. It is very rare that they miss even part of a class. They show up on time, they still stay till the very end, and they're actively learning in class and they're participating. Number 2, their work completion is excellent. They have few, if any, zeros. They are completing their own work, not just to get a score, but to understand the content. And then number 3, we see them in office hours. Office hours are not just for students who are struggling. It is for all students. It's how you connect with your teacher. It's how your teacher can check to see your level of understanding, and fix some little areas where you might need improvement on the spot, so you don't get too far behind before we can see that you need help. If your student is not utilizing the office hours, please have them come see us. We're available every day for at least an hour, sometimes more, and we would love to see your student. Some of the ways that our PLC is committed to supporting your student is through those office hours. You're going to see me mention it 3 times. That's how important I think it is. The schedule does not change from week to week. They know when they can access us. The office hours link is on that homepage I was referring to earlier. If they need to contact us, my recommendation is that they stick around after class. Wait till students sign off, and then we can talk immediately after class, or come visit us during office hours. If you or your student need to speak with us, send us an email. We are usually pretty good about responding in a timely fashion. We have the Canvas Messenger feature, as well as some teachers use the Remind app in order to send messages back and forth. And if all else fails, you have your Telegram, your Carrier Pigeon, and I will always respond to an edible arrangement. In addition to that, we are extending our Zoom class times so that we can provide intervention for students who really had a hard time accessing the content and succeeding in the first semester. So students who had D's or F's, or who we think could perform a little better this semester. At the end of our normal instruction, we stick around on Zoom, and that gives us time to have students begin their assignments, get a couple of problems done correctly, and then send them on their way. That way we know they know how to do the assignment correctly. If they choose not to, that's on them. But at least we were there to make sure that they had a good understanding going into it. It also allows us to check for understanding with them. If we work in small groups, we're able to see, at what step they're making the wrong decision, or where they have some questions, fix it on the spot, and then students are able to do it correctly on their own sooner. Some resources that the school provides to all students can be found on our WHS Distance Learning website. Our librarian, Mrs. Escobedo, is one of the most phenomenal resources our school has to offer. If you go to visit her site, she'll take you to the College and Career Center. You can get your access to free tutoring, among a million other things. Please go visit her. I hope your student has spent a lot of time on there, because she is so thrilled to be helping out our students. We have Virtual Resource Center, which also can be found online. This is a schedule of the tutoring schedule, as well as our virtual Saturday school. Again, when you go through the slideshow, all of these are live links, so you can click on them and it'll take you directly to these pages. Another question we were anticipating is, what happens after Integrated Math 3? So after your student after your student passes our class, they will have fulfilled the minimum 3-year requirement, the math requirement for University of California admissions. So it fulfills that C in the A through G requirements. Just so you know, 4 years are recommended, especially if your student plans to go to a 4-year college or university. Some of the options that we had available for students this year were AP Calculus, AP Stats, Calculus, Statistics, Trig, Pre-Calc, and then MRWC, which is Math Reasoning with Connections. If your student doesn't know, or if you don't know what the best course for them is, don't worry about it. They're gonna make that decision with their counselor, and their current math teacher will make sure that there's a good fit for them. There will be registration forms coming out in about mid-March, so look for those, and that's when you will make that decision. If you have any questions, you can go to this link down in the bottom right, and it'll answer some more of those questions you may have regarding the A through G policy. I did the best I could to keep it really short and sweet. I look forward to answering any questions you may have, or please contact any of the other Integrated Math 3 teachers. They are incredible, incredible teachers, and we all want the best for your students. So please reach out. I hope you have a great night, and go Bears.